Welcome to Just a Farm Wife with your host, Tara Emerson. Tara is a farm wife, photographer, mom, author, public speaker, and much more. On this podcast, Tara takes listeners on a journey through all aspects of life and how we can create future growth. This podcast helps to empower women to believe they are more than the labeling that society hands them. And remember, you are never just in anything.
Hello and welcome back to another episode of Just a Farm Wife. I'm your host, Tara Emerson, and today we have Lizzie Siegel with us. She is the owner of, I want to read this so I say it right. She's a resource and reality architect. She's guiding people to remember who they are, experience their freedom, and know that they are whole. And if you know anything about me, this is right up my alley. We've been talking about this for a really long time. And today, Lizzie is graciously on here to talk about this. And this is also a part of our autoimmune series. So I know this sounds wild, but we're going to connect the dots here and take a look. So welcome, Lizzie. I'm so excited you're here.
Thank you so much for having me. It's such a pleasure to be here. And it really is a joy and my highest passion to share about this journey to wellness.
Yes. And wellness is a really big topic right now. And people are constantly like searching for the right supplement, the right thing, the right therapist, the right this, the right words to heal yourself. And one thing that I firmly believe in is that we have everything within ourselves to heal ourselves. But first, I want you to tell me about what your business actually is. Because resource and reality architect could be a lot of things, and it could be a lot of woo-woo things. And I love woo-woo things too. So please tell me about what you do.
Thank you so much for that question. And it's such an important job that I get to do in this world. And I say job, but it really is my play. As a resource and reality architect, I help people remember their wholeness. And when I say resource, while I do mean tangible resources in our world, like money, like the job that you want, or the career that you want, or the home that you want, and all those physical things that we actually manifest in this life, I truly also mean knowing that you return to source, you resource, you go within and you connect with the divinity of who you already are. You remember your wholeness and you bring that through into the physical reality world. I also love to play with words. So we resource, we return to source, but then there's also that bit about source RE. So again, resource just backwards, and it's sorcery that we do with ourselves because everything that we speak is creating this reality and this world around us. And so resource and reality architect, I am reminding people, and I say it very clearly, I'm reminding people. I'm not teaching them, and I guide them, I show them their way, but I'm reminding them that they are creating their reality with their beliefs, with the identities that they hold about themselves. And then I allow them to explore they allow themselves, to be fair, but I hold the space while they allow themselves to explore what are the identities and the stories they've been telling themselves and creating this reality for themselves. Is it in alignment with where they truly desire to be? And if not, how do we shift that? And I have the tools, I have the codes, I have the methods that I guide people to know the way for them to actually shift their reality and ground it into the physical 3D world.
Right. Well, and sometimes that's all you need. I mean, when you're in it, you're in it. Like sometimes it's hard to look above it, from 10,000 feet. Like you're just kind of stuck in it. And sometimes you need someone that's completely like unbiased, that has no connection to you whatsoever, to just kind of give you those little reminders and those nudges of remembering. Because we're all born with that remembering. We're all born with God's divine light within us. And sometimes it's just lineage patterns and all of the stories that we tell ourselves or that have been told to us that we need to forget about. quite honestly.
And I love to say our beliefs, our belief systems, they're literally because we have been programmed and conditioned to believe all of this stuff, and we inherit them, we pick them up, and they can be given to us through all sorts of means, but we agree to them at some point because they got us to where we are, and those belief systems served us. And what so many people don't know and don't realize is that you can actually change your beliefs like you change your clothes. You can literally take them off and put on a new one and try it out and like, nah, don't really like this one, or that was a cute outfit for that night, and you can change again. And so if you know how to do this, then it becomes so much more playful and easeful and joyful. And we can see that belief systems really are just BS, and it's kind of fun.
Sure. That's awesome. Okay, so you guys, we were talking about this before we got on the air. So today, I don't know if it's a barometric pressure change, what's going on, if I was super dehydrated yesterday. We're going to give you kind of a little sneak peek of what Lizzie does, because I've had a really bad headache since I got up this morning. Like something just didn't, I don't know if I'm releasing something or, there's just something going on with me today. I've had a really bad headache all day. So Lizzie thought that she could work her magic, and we're going to see what Lizzie does in real time. Isn't that crazy?
So good. Okay, so, and this can apply to anybody else who's listening that has any other type of not feeling your wholeness and your wellness right now. I invite you to, if you're driving, pull over, but otherwise, get in with us and allow yourself to receive the remembrance of your wholeness. So wherever you're at, just make sure your limbs are uncrossed. So like your legs are not crossed over each other.
I'm kind of pretzeled right now. Yeah.
Okay. Because we're going to allow the energy to flow.
Sure.
And then I invite you to close your eyes if it's possible for you. You may bring one hand to your heart or both hands to your heart and one hand to your belly, if that feels right for you.
My microphone is in the way.
And take a moment to just connect with your energy. Notice that all of the energy flowing through you is you. I invite you to breathe into your heart space. Imagine as if there is a glowing light in the center of your heart. And as you breathe in, allow yourself to feel the wholeness of who you always are. And as you breathe out, release any judgment, any tension, any shame, any resistance, any gripping or holding a story that wholeness is not available to you. And then let that breath come in to your belly, clearing any of the energy that has been stuck or stagnant, just allowing the energy to flow through you from your belly to your heart. With each inhale, inviting in fresh, beautiful, light prana, energy force. And with each exhale, releasing anything else that is stagnant or stuck or holding you. Let it go. And then drawing your attention up to your crown, up to your mind, where there may be any lingering resistance, any lingering tension. With your next exhale, open your mouth and sigh it out to release it. And as you draw in a breath from the crown of your head, through your heart, all the way down to your belly, feel the wholeness, feel the beauty, feel the release. Take another deep breath in through your nose, filling all the way up. And open your mouth to sigh it out. And one more breath just like that. And I invite you in your head, in your heart, or even out loud to say these words: I am whole.
I'm whole.
I am free.
I'm free.
I am safe.
I'm safe.
I allow myself to be me.
I allow myself to be me.
Take in one more breath. Seal it in. And let it go. And as you come back into this space, know that it is done.
Okay.
How do you feel?
So my headache is not gone,
Mm-hmm.
but it is more of a tingly feeling.
Yeah.
But
Give it a few minutes. Let it permeate as we go.
yeah, that's awesome. I've been meditating for a really long time, so I always love like this kind of stuff. So now that we showed you the big thing of kind of what she does, let's bring this back to Lizzie's story. So thank you very much for that. I really appreciate it. That was fun.
Thank you. Thank you for allowing me to share that with you. And if anybody's watching and they're wondering what are my hands doing, I'm working with the energy and the like codes over here. So that's just in case you were curious, that's what we're doing.
That's funny. And I didn't see anything because my eyes were closed. So.
If somebody's like watching, they're probably like, what is she doing?
That's funny. There's a lot to working in the quantum level and that sort of thing that you can't, only the person who's doing it can see.
Yeah.
So let's bring this back to how you started this and how in the world does this tie back to autoimmune disease? Like, I'm sure everybody is scratching their heads as to what in the world is going on in this episode.
Yeah. Welcome to my world. Come play with me. Okay. So, I have lots of little starting points along the journey, but one of the main parts of this journey and where it became essential for me to figure something out was when I was already injured, like super injured. I had like slipped discs in my back, been in accidents. I was really injured and I was miserable. And I had found yoga first. And yoga and breath work and meditation. And this was like my entryway into, I need to do something to heal my body because I couldn't move. I was in so much pain all the time. And the doctors wanted to fuse my spine together, but I was like, absolutely not, because that would mean rods and pins and all these things. And I was like, I have not had children yet. I want to be able to bend down and play with my kids one day. And so I was like, no, there has to be another way. And so I went on this journey. And this led me to yoga, which led me to a breakdown because at the time I was so stubborn and I was in a job and a career and a relationship that I was comfortable in and I didn't want to let it go. So
I gotta have to interrupt you. The greatest stories come from the breakdown, right?
Yeah. And I always say breakdowns lead to breakthroughs. And I had like a literal meltdown because also I travel a lot and I love to travel. And it was during the pandemic times when travel was restricted. And I was like, I can't do it anymore. I just got to go. I'm going to do it. Even if it's not safe, I'm going. And so I went to Thailand for a yoga retreat and energy healing found me there. I didn't find it. It
Cool.
literally found me, and the instructor was like, "Here I am. What do you want to know?" And he was like, "Come to the first day. The information's free, and if you like it, you can join us." And I was blown away because it was as if every single story he had to tell was meant for my soul to hear. Things that, like, you can't even imagine the stuff that I'm like, how do you know my life? Because there was this one story where he was saying, like, if you've ever lost your keys, like, on the side of the road, and somehow you can see where they are and you can find them. And I was like, do you know my life story? And so I was like, okay, I'm in. And I learned energy healing, and I realized I am very gifted with channeling energy through my beingness. And I had been saying weird things all my life that, like, electronics break around me and things stop working and other weird shifts happen. And people were like, that's not a thing, right? And I'm like, but it is.
But is it?
Yeah.
Does
And
it,
so
has it happened to you?
And so when somebody, like, there was an outside source validating this and being like, it happens. And I was like, yes, it does, because I work with energy. And so then we got to, in real time, practice working with healing ourselves and others. And I will caveat that as all healing is self-healing.
Yeah.
The healer is really in the vibration of wholeness. They are the ones remembering that vibration, and their invitation is for you to meet them there. But all healing is self-healing. Even if you take a medicine, you're agreeing to have that vibration, that frequency of that medicine, to you match it so that you remember your wholeness. They're just tools, they're permission slips. And anyway, so I learned this. I was able to help so many people in like a few weeks, and I was like, this is wild. Okay. So then
Okay.
I
want to interrupt you for 1 second,
please.
because I want to differentiate between healers.
Yes.
There are healers who say they are healers who will push into your space, who will take from your energy. So just like all doctors are not created equal, just like all teachers are not created equal, the same thing goes for healers. So if you take the time and decide to use a healer or use an energy coach or use something like that, like, I want to forewarn anybody that somebody that you attract might not be what you're looking for. Because sometimes when you're running these patterns of fear and scarcity and those sort of things, you'll attract a healer who complements those patterns to you. So you'll find that you'll work with that healer for a while, and then maybe be like, something's not right here. So I just want to say that not all healers heal in this way.
True. And
this is what you want. You want a healer who heals, who is just a reflection, essentially, to you, showing you who you actually are, not the other way around.
Thank you for mentioning that. Discernment is so key. And even that piece about you would have attracted them for some reason. And I mean, I know because I've been there in the past too, they needed to sharpen.
Me too. I know from experience.
Yeah. And I had to sharpen my discernment. I had to understand what is real sovereignty versus still giving your power away in a healee relationship, and not understanding that you are a sovereign soul and that you actually have the power within you. And so if you need to attract that experience to learn the hard way, okay, can you actually learn it through this conversation and not attract that experience? Or if you do attract that experience, can you instantly recognize, ooh, I gave my power away and I'm not doing that anymore?
Yes. Yes, that's exactly it. I love that. Good explanation.
Yeah. So be empowered in your own healing. It is your journey. And if a healer tries to say that they're doing it for you, they're not. And if they are, they're probably still a lot in their ego, in which case discernment. Now you know. Now you have that gift right here to go, ooh, if they actually think they're healing me, maybe I don't want to go with them. Hey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep,
So
that's exactly right. Yeah.
the healing is a beautiful process. And also, we all don't want to get stuck in the healing loop, because that's another thing that can happen, where people just think that they constantly have something to heal. And what I really specialize in is helping people to exit the healing loop, to no longer need to keep healing and finding another method and another modality and another healer. Like, no, you've got the power. Let's just claim that and show
Right.
you your own tools.
It's
So
about expanding, right? Like you get out. I mean, our consciousness is heavy here, so you are going to be healing forever. However, it's expanding and not, yes, and not searching,
yeah.
like staying in the searching loop, the seeking loop. Like
Mhm.
it's in you.
Yeah.
I
And
mean,
like,
God put it there. Like it's for you.
and imagine you could look at the journey of healing like this joyful revelation of more layers of yourself, instead of like, oh, there's something wrong with me and I have to fix it. No, you don't. There's nothing wrong with you. Even when you have an actual autoimmune disease, and again, I know because I've been there, there's nothing wrong with you. You just have extra in you. You're so lucky you got some extra stuff, and now you get to sort out how to let it go. You manifested that in, let's manifest it out.
Yeah.
And that was kind of the shifting moment for me. I had, after I came back from this yoga retreat, and I had learned energy healing, and I had worked on myself in that retreat, and I was like, oh my gosh, I can see this disease lining up and leaving my body. And I'm very visual, so I could see that happening. And I was like, okay, cool. So then I was like, well, I know I'm getting better. I'm just going to live my life like I am getting better. And I did need medicine for some time. I had fibromyalgia. I had an undifferentiated connective tissue disease, which is its own category of disease, because it's kind of like lupus. It's kind of like rheumatoid arthritis. It's kind of like some other ones, but because it has bits and pieces of all, it literally gets its own category of undifferentiated. And my blood was attacking my body. My joints were literally falling apart. And then at this point, the doctors were like, okay, now you need hip surgery, because I had torn something in my hip. And I was like, here we go again. Nope. And I was actually going to have it because it was very painful. It was so painful to get, like, I was a PE teacher at the time, and just walking sucked. Like, putting my foot on the ground hurt. And I remember going, okay, then I will surrender and get this surgery, because I cannot live in this kind of pain. It was excruciating. And I had to take so many different medicines just to get through my day. The night before surgery, my surgery was canceled, because the hospital and something with the doctor, he was a visiting doctor, they're like, yeah, we're not allowed to do the thing we're doing. And I was in another country. I lived in the Middle East. And so they had all these weird protocols. And I was like, okay. And in that moment, I would cry, because I was like, I don't want to feel this pain anymore. But I then really quickly went, okay, God, what are you showing me? Is this another one of I got to heal myself moments? Okay, guide me, show me the way. This led me to another hospital. And there they were like, actually, you don't just need hip surgery, you need a full hip replacement. I was like,
Oh, jeez.
no, that's not happening.
Oh my goodness.
I'm like,
Oh my goodness.
I think it was like 33 at the time. And I'm like, no way is that happening. No,
Oh.
just no. And so I said, come on, there's got to be something else that we can do. Help me out here. And I said,
Yeah.
and also this medicine. He's like, why are you taking it for so long? I was taking like steroids for years, which was disintegrating the bone in my hip, which was making all of this even worse. And I said, because the doctor told me to.
Right,
And
right.
I didn't know better. And so they said, go see our internal medicine doctor. I go upstairs to that level, and I walk into this room. And that's also funny, because the man, he looked like Jason Momoa, but like younger. And,
Awesome.
and he was so handsome. He was so handsome. And he was young. And he looked at me. He kind of heard a few things that I said. And he went, have you ever experienced trauma in your life? And I was like, oh my gosh, a doctor who's actually looking at me like a whole person. He said, bring me back all your files. I want to know more about this. A week later, I go back, and he said, like, what else is going on? And so I kind of told him, I said, I've been working with energy healing. I don't want to have my hip replaced. He said, yeah, we're not going to do that. And I also want to run more tests. And at this time, I actually had let go of that relationship that I needed to let go of. This was about a 6-month process. And so in that time, it was like the last piece of letting go of the relationship. And I said to him, I don't think that I have this sickness anymore. And he's like, I don't think so either. We did the tests. There were no markers of any autoimmune diseases anywhere in my blood. And he said, off of all the medicine, your bone will repair because bones repair. And I said, but what about the tear in the tissue? Because the cartilage was torn. And he said, and I said, the doctor said that like that doesn't heal itself. He said, that's not true. It just takes a really long time to heal. So I was like, okay, I will take the time. I will do the energy work. He said, keep going. And his mom was like a Reiki master, or his mother-in-law rather, was a Reiki master or something like that. So he had full belief that it was possible for me to heal in a more natural way. And at this time, I had gotten tuned into, this is the really weird part of me, so welcome. If anybody's ever heard of Bashar, he's a extraterrestrial channel through Daryl Anka. And around this time, he was speaking about the American Botanicals Detox. And you can order it from America, and it is a full body detox. And there are so many beautiful stories he shares where like even some guy needed knee surgery, and instead he did this detox for 30 days and his knee was good as new. And I was like, okay, that's going to be my next step. But I lived abroad at the time, so I was like, okay, I'm going to do all the other things, pardon me, that I can, and when I get back home I will do this. So circle around to October of the year that just happened, 2025, I moved home, and I was divinely guided out of the Middle East before any of the crazy stuff started happening.
Oh, wow.
I moved back to Canada, and I was like, I'm ordering that detox. I ordered that detox and I stuck to it religiously. And then like after the month, I was like, well, I feel better. My hip doesn't feel all the way better, but I feel better. And then I kind of just like forgot about it. I let it go. I released it. And then 2 or 3 weeks later, I was like, oh my gosh, my hip doesn't hurt at all. Like at all. Not even a little bit. Oh my gosh, my hip, like, and after years of excruciating pain, I was like, this is wild. And to this day, I am just golden.
Wow. That's insane.
Yeah. And it's so possible. It's energy healing. Oh, and there's something else that you need to know along the way. Subconscious reprogramming. I got really into subconscious reprogramming and a method that I work with called Psych-K. And I also was allergic to a ton of stuff. And through the process of Psych-K, I released so much of the trauma that I had developed these allergies through. I don't have any allergies today. And I had severe allergies. Like I couldn't eat peanuts. I'd vomit and it would all come out of me. And
wow.
In a moment of eating peanuts by accident, my Psych-K instructor was like, okay, sit down, do a balance. You know how to do this. And my tongue was like open and cuts from eating the peanuts. I was starting to get nauseous, and I was like, okay, I trust this process. I sat down, did a balance. In 10 minutes, my tongue totally healed and the allergy passed. And I've never been allergic to peanuts since. And I did,
No
I did
way.
the healing for oats. I did the healing for like cats. I was allergic to cats before. Not that I need to have a cat, but
I'm allergic to cats, and we have an indoor cat. But I feel like it's getting better though, which is kind of weird. Like 3 weeks ago, maybe a month ago, I went to the doctor because my allergies were just going crazy. Like I felt like crazy for me. Like they were never like that bad, but crazy for me. Like my eyes burned, my nose was running all the time, that sort of thing. And then the stuff that I have been doing to heal my autoimmune stuff and to heal a lot of the trauma that I've experienced in this lifetime and others, it seems like I don't need the allergy medication anymore. Like I was on it for years. And when I went to the doctor, I switched to a nasal spray, and I noticed like in the last week, I think I barely used it.
Congratulations. That's huge.
Yeah.
This stuff is why we share these stories, because so many of our allergies, our traumas, our autoimmune things, they really and truly are a result of a dysregulated nervous system, and not in like the hype way that the internet world's sharing it, but of deeply rooted patterns that have caused us to be shifted off our center, and also to program and activate our cells to turn on gene sequences that make us feel unwell. But if we could turn them on, we can also turn them off. If we
Right.
can manifest it in, we can also manifest it out. It is not a, oh, you have this and it's your life sentence. No. Once we get to the root, or as I like to call it, the heart of the matter, and we actually understand why is this here? Why am I still holding on to it? How do I believe it serves me? Because it's still serving you, otherwise you would have already let it go. And when you get to the root of the matter, the heart of the matter, and you actually dissolve the limitation or the stickiness and the block that you think you have, that you perceive to have, then you can actually allow it to go, and you can see what becomes possible and available for you.
Right. Well, yes, I love that. And those like big health problems and, other traumatic situations or triggers that you're having, they're not bad for you. They're warning signs. They're God giving you the green light to go ahead and fix it.
Yeah.
And it's the permission to fix it. I really feel like in our society as women, we've been taught that we need to have permission in order to do these things.
Isn't that funny?
It is. It is.
Because
And I really noticed
give
that
it.
in myself, like in the last few years. Like the coach that I was working with, she was like, the very first session we had, she's like, Carol, why do you need my permission? Like, oh, I guess I really don't. I don't need permission to be myself. But women have been taught for centuries that they need permission to even exist. I mean, no wonder our bodies are attacking itself, is because we don't allow ourselves permission to be who we are.
Yeah. And imagine what becomes, and like, not just playing, like, take a minute, everybody who's listening. Imagine what would become available to you if you allowed yourself to even be 1% of yourself. If you took off one layer or one mask, if you stop pretending in one area of your life, or even in one little thing of your life, just imagine. And I know there's that collective like, it's a felt experience. It's not just a thought experience. You can feel that shift of like, oh my God, is that allowed? Is that possible? Yes, number one, it is. But then that reminder, number two, I'm not giving you that permission. I'm just reminding you that you give you that permission.
Yes, exactly. But then we also, like, our nervous system can be so scared of it, and we can just like go up into resistance and be like, there's nothing wrong, everything's fine. And we keep telling ourselves that over and over again in the mind, and it doesn't allow us to look deeper.
And that's a very important part, because there is so much that we can do with the mind and use your mind. And also, part of the distinction that needs to stop being made is the fact that like your mind is different than your body. Your body is your subconscious mind lived out. And so if you really want to know what's going on in your subconscious mind, look to your body, look to your reality, see what's playing out, because it's a past representation of all the stuff that you've believed to be true up until now. And so when you shift that, we live in a time-space reality. Things take a little minute to catch up. And we will see what I call the echo effect, where yes, you changed already internally. Yes, you did the deep subconscious shifting, the identity work. And then you go, but I still saw that thing show up in my outer world. It's just an echo reminding you that option is available. And it's your inner state, your vibration, your ability to hold your center, even if you see that ripple effect, that echo effect happen, to go, oh, yeah, I know that's the old version. Thank you for reminding me that you're here and you're an option to choose. I still don't like that one anymore. I will choose something different. And when you know that, and it's an internal knowing, it's not an external validation knowing, it's an internal knowing. When you really shift on that level, that's when your outer reality shifts to match. It was when I said, I know I'm healing, I know this disease has left my body, then my outer world could match it. It wasn't, I'm looking for it in the doctor's results to see that I healed, and then I healed. No, I knew it. And then it shifted in the outer world. And so we've been conditioned to have this outside in, backwards version of how things actually work.
Right.
And so when we know how things actually work, when we can flip the script and see the structure of reality for what it really is, then it lets us play in the power of the paradox. And this is so much fun then, because it gets to be that joyful journey of discovery instead of there's something wrong with me. There's nothing wrong with you. You're perfect.
Right, exactly. How could you not be? You are divinely created, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And if you want, I mean, that is a big takeaway. If you want something in your outer world to change, you have to find whatever it is in you that keeps creating it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And sometimes, I mean, and we're not meant to do all of this on our own.
Nope.
We're not. We need to have friends. We need to have coaches. We need to have people in our lives who are rooting for us and who don't just keep telling us the same story over and over.
Ooh, that part's so important. You know, we reinforce the stories. And if
Yes.
you've got people in your life, or even if you in your own life keep reinforcing the story and also attaching to this story, like so many people say, like, I have this autoimmune disease. Do you want to have it? Stop claiming it. You could say, my
Right.
body is experiencing this autoimmune disease. We want to create distance. And that distance then lets us look at it more objectively and stop owning it as like, ooh, I love this thing. Like, you can love
Right.
it and love it over there and say, like, my body
Right.
is experiencing this. And we all have blind spots. And so
Yes.
we need each other and community to keep reminding us, to point out a different perspective, to help us shift. And all healers need healers. I call myself the space holder for space holders, because so many high level leaders and space holders, they're like, who's holding them? I am. That's really what I do. I get to hold people and help them remember their divinity, because it can be a taxing job if you think that you're doing the healing and taking on people's energy. That's one of the biggest challenges I see in like the coaching space, the spiritual spaces, the healing spaces, is people forget that they're agreeing to take this stuff on, and they get bogged down and forget that you don't have to take that on. Actually, you are a divine
For
channel.
sure.
Let it
Yes.
flow through you.
Right. Right. When I was in my 20s, I used to be a respiratory therapist. So a very long time ago. And I used to have so many people that would die on my, like every time I worked. So I would work like 12-hour shifts, and every week I would have at least one patient die. I mean, it wasn't me, like but the reason it happened on my days is because I would hold space for them and that sort of thing, but I was doing it wrong. I would come home and I would be exhausted, and it would take me days to recover, and it's like, this is not right. But you realize that, I mean, it took me, talking to a therapist and that sort of thing to get to the point, like, you can't take on their stuff. But I didn't even realize that I was doing it because I grew up that way.
Yeah.
Right. So, like, so many things happen because that's how you learn to survive in your household,
Yeah.
by taking things on and making things more comfortable for everybody else. Well, that's not your job.
Yeah.
And a lot of people have to unlearn that.
Yeah. Thank you for that beautiful role that you played. because that transition for people, I know a few death doulas in my life. And what a sacred role that is. Like being able to give
Yeah.
somebody permission to pass on.
To pass on in the proper way. Yes, for
Yeah.
sure. I really hope that death doulas become a really big thing because I feel like it is definitely needed
Mm,
and we need to learn how to pass on the proper way.
mm.
Yeah.
And let go joyfully.
Hmm.
Like we
Yeah.
spend this whole life really like learning how to accumulate, but it's also the process of letting go. That surrender is a divine part of manifestation. When
Right.
that expression, let go and let God, there's a part where you need to do your part, but then you also got to say, okay, tag, you're at source, it's your turn. And
Right.
rest is a revenue generating activity for business owners. Let that be known. Like tagging God in and saying, okay, I've done my part, now bring me the miracles. You have to actually let go in order for that to come in. We have to
Right.
allow. But that constant hustle culture and the do and it's all on you. No, it's not. It can't possibly be all on you. The whole universe is conspiring in your favor. How could it possibly be all on you? But these are the perspective shifts that need to be heard, which is why we have podcasts like this. These are the moments where people like maybe never even knew it's not actually all on you.
Right. Right. Yeah, that's
And
awesome. Can we go back to the was it the PHK or
okay, yeah,
what was it? Sorry, it cut out.
yeah, that's okay. It's called Psych K,
Psych
and it
K,
is
that's
a
what it is.
beautiful method.
This
It's a
one I haven't heard of.
okay, let me share it with you. It is a spiritual process with physical benefits and psychological benefits.
Okay.
And if you have heard of Dr. Bruce Lipton, he is one of the original OG guys who talks about epigenetics, and he understands and has understood for a long time now how our environments signal a whole lot to how our genes actually respond. A really beautiful book to read is by him called The Biology of Belief. The 10th anniversary edition is really fun because he reflects after having wrote it
Oh,
10 years
sure.
previous.
Cool.
And when I read this book, he talks just briefly in near the end, I believe, about Psych K. And when I read it, I was like, wait a minute, they're doing something that I'm doing. But they have a method for it and they have like a process. I need to learn what this is because he talks about understanding that spirit and science aren't like spirituality and science, they're not separate, they're just different ends of the same spectrum. And that our through muscle testing, we can actually connect with the subconscious mind and the superconscious mind, and we can understand how to reprogram our subconscious mind. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm already doing this. What else? What can I learn? What do they know that I don't? And so the universe literally divinely guided me to not learn it in America when I was home in the summer, but to go back to where I was living in Kuwait and didn't miss anything, an
Oh,
opportunity to like learn rapid transformational therapy, some other hypnosis method that
yes,
I was
like RRT or something.
yeah, something like
Yeah.
this. That,
Hmm.
that never really resonated with me. And then they were both in Dubai, and so it was in Dubai, but I like slept right through a call. I had a deep trance on my yoga mat and I missed the call. And then I was like, oh, okay, well, trusting that this is for a reason. I opened my phone and Site K comes up also in Dubai. And I'm like, all right, booked. And I literally booked it in minutes. I flew to Dubai. And when I got into this group, I was like, I understand why I'm here. Like these divine beings who remember the truth of who they are. And it's a methodology where you use muscle testing. We use
Hmm.
eye movements and cross body communication and different goal statements or processes to help you release any stress, any trauma, anything very simply, very elegantly, very efficiently, and then program in new beliefs that are no longer limiting. They're self-enhancing beliefs. And then you take inspired and aligned action and you literally watch your whole world shift like magic. It is so simple, it is so effective, and it's so magical to me that it's like you can't make this stuff up. And I went and I learned all 4 levels within 2 years, and it's really like having another university degree. This stuff is deep work. It's very important, and it's life shifting. And there's even a practice of health and well-being. So there's a whole course for health and well-being. I have the basic, the advanced, and the master facilitation training, so I can do it in person and online. And when I learned this method, my whole world shifted. Things that I had wanted to shift for 6 years, I hadn't been able to. And once I completed, probably, I think it was my advanced or my master facilitation level, I was like, okay, I need to do this action step, and I know my world's going to shift. I took that action step and everything transformed. I started like, I was able to leave my long-term teaching career. I was able to start hosting retreats internationally, have clients consistently, like really create the life that I desired and had said I wanted to live for so long, but I had some really deep subconscious work to do that I hadn't yet unlocked. But with this, it just unlocked like a new level for me, and then allowed me to do things so much more efficiently, because the work I was doing was totally working. It was just maybe not as efficient. Like it would take a little bit longer to get there, but now I had this tool and this method, and I will still say it's a tool. It's a method. You are the magic. And as I went through every single level, I was like, I know it's going to happen here. I know it's going to happen here. And we get to the end of the level, and I was like, yep, we're the magic. That thing's beautiful. And let's use these tools, they're toys, and let's use them. Let's not discount them at all. But you are the magic.
Right. I love that. And you're going to get there in different ways, right? Because we're all meant to have our own path in this.
Yeah.
So a method that works for you might not work for somebody else just because of what their design is.
Right. And sorry, I didn't mean to jump in.
No, go ahead.
That was such an important point that you said, depending on what your design is. And also something that works for you one time might later actually not be working for you, because you might have used it up, or you might not want that one right now.
Right. Well, and I mean, just like anything, like it might have worked in survival mode, but it's not going to work when you're in expansive mode. Like that's how that is. You know,
Yes.
I was doing a lot of things, you know, in my 20s that worked to survive. But if I really wanted to thrive in life, I had to change. There were patterns that I needed to fix. There were the way I treated myself and others needed to be changed. Like there were a lot of things. And not to be angry with yourself either. Like I dealt with that too. Like I was angry at myself for doing the wrong thing, or the wrong thing, right? It's not wrong. It's learning.
Yeah. It was where you were at with that level of consciousness, and it was perfect for that time.
Right.
And I love to help people remember that, you know, there's that, even that weird saying, like, you're perfectly imperfect. Then you're just making yourself wrong again. Actually, you're literally perfect in every single moment. Every single moment happened exactly the way it did because it needed to happen that way. And if it's happening right now, it needs to happen this way. How do we know? Because it's happening. If it weren't needing to be happening that way, it would be happening another way. That's the part of really being able to be held by the divine plan and know that, yes, you play a part and you do get to play and choose and navigate, yet there is a bigger source of all that is holding us, and saying, okay, sure, go ahead. If you want to do it that way, yeah, I will support you, but it's unconditionally supportive. And that's what people kind of miss, the fact that it's unconditionally supportive. It's not like, I'll support you in the bad things, but not the good things. Or vice versa, I'll support you in the good things, but not the bad things. Whatever you say goes. The universe will literally say, okay, cool. Yeah, we'll do it that way. You'll say something that you
Right.
don't.
And it might be hard. Like the things that you're choosing might be really hard and really awful, and you don't actually want them, but you haven't healed that part of yourself yet to get to the next part, to get to the good part.
Yeah. And so many people don't even realize that they have a choice. They will say, like, how am I choosing that? Well, if you can really be very honest with the self and really get still and be held. And this is why it's really important to have others to hold you in this phase, because that part kind of sucks. That part is really hard to recognize, like, oh, I did this. If I do all the good things, but I also bring all the bad things as well, and good and bad. The soul, it's just having an experience, but from the human perspective, like, to realize that, like, oh, I brought this on. Okay, what role did I play? And not in a shaming and blaming of the self way, just really radical responsibility of, like, oh, I see how I played that part in that. Yep. Okay. Well, if I did that, guess what? I get to clean it up. And we
Right.
get
Or blaming others, because we can really easily get stuck in the blaming others part, right? They did this to me.
yeah.
Well, they did this to me because I had the pattern that allowed it.
Yeah.
Like
And it
that was
does,
in my soul, that was in my divine plan. So, I mean, I got stuck there for years. I feel like I really did.
me too,
Yeah,
but
like,
everybody
and
else.
it's so easy to do. And then it's so easy to be mad at yourself once you're like, hey, I did this. I'm so mad at myself. Why would I do this to myself?
Yeah.
But
That's
it's
important to
okay.
know. Yeah, that is so, the way you just said that, that's so important to note. I think that that's not talked about enough, about how common it is. Like, we all know there's a victim mindset. We've heard this term
Oh, for
before.
sure.
But, like, I really think that part of the healing journey is being in a victim mindset, going in that spiral for a while. And then when you get out of that spiral of it's everybody else's fault, then going into the self victim mindset where now you're responsible and you're blaming yourself for everything. And then you have to do that part for however long you choose, however long it's fun for you. And then once you finally get to the point of, like, oh, still doing the same thing, but now to myself, that's not good either. That's not self-compassion, because if I'm extending compassion to everybody else, I have to include myself in the whole. Otherwise, I'm not really whole. And so then we get to this place where we finally anchor into the true mastery of self-compassion and compassion for others, which is like real empathy. And that's the highest expression of discord. Like, I really love the gene keys, and so I don't know if anybody's
Oh,
else
sure.
really into them, but
Yeah.
there
And
is
Gene
one.
Keys are really cool. If you have not checked out Gene Keys, do that, because it really helps you link the physical experience to whatever is going on in your soul. Like,
Oh,
it's really good. Yeah.
and it shows you the shadow frequency, the gift
Mm-hmm.
expression, the highest frequency. And so there's a gene key that is actually, funny enough, like the culture of the people that I work with, where the shadow frequency is discord. So, like, all the dissonance, all the junk going on, the what is chaos in your body essentially. And then the gift frequency is it'll come back to me in a minute, but the highest expression is empathy. Oh, discord, I think it's compassion and empathy. And so, like, having compassion is one thing, but having empathy is just a whole nother level. And it's
Mm-hmm.
really being able to include yourself in that grace that God gives us freely. And it's not like everybody gets it but you. No, we're Oprah style here. Everybody gets it. One for you, one for you. It is available to all of us.
If we allow it.
Even if you don't allow it, it's still there.
It is. You just have to uncover it. You are right. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's not
You
like
just have to
it's
uncover it. And really, it starts with you,
yeah.
right? Like, we can offer all the empathy and kindness to everybody around us, but if we don't offer it within ourselves first, it's not, the other people aren't going to be able to receive it in the purest way either. And then weird things happen, in
Yeah, it's like
in
strings
between.
attached. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
You mentioned something earlier that circles back to, like, that people are afraid to even, like, be all of themselves.
Hmm.
Imagine though that you have this gift that is you, and to give it to others, which is what most people truly desire. Like they're like, I'm doing all this stuff for everybody else but not for me. But really your deepest desire is to be all of you and to give all of you to that person. But if you're not shining full brightness, they can't really find you. If you're like kind of wearing a half mask, they can't really know who you are. When you allow yourself to be the fullness of who you truly are, other people can find you. Other people can love you fully, and you're giving them the fullest gift of knowing all of you. Some people, sure, they're not going to stick around. That happens. But
Yeah.
people can be in your life for a reason, a season, or a lifetime. And so maybe they're not, maybe that soul contract is had its run and you can bless it and let it go. But all you're ever going to find in the unknown is more of yourself. And instead of fearing it, we can welcome it with a lot of love and excitement, because you can filter your energy through your belief system. One end is fear, which is false evidence appearing real, and the other end is faith, which is full assurance in the heart. Your heart is connected to your intuition. It's connected to your highest self. Your highest self is you from a higher perspective. It's always on your side. It's always got your back. It's always guiding you. And if you can allow yourself to be led with your heart, like that expression, follow your heart, it's an expression for a reason. Let it guide you. Your higher self knows, it can see the bigger picture for you. And it's really beautiful once you allow yourself to surrender the control of the human to your highest self. It is you. You're not giving up control. You're just saying, okay, tag, you're it.
Right. Well, it's like the difference between the ego mind, like
Mhm,
that's where that's at, you know,
mhm,
and not letting the ego mind get in the way of your higher self. And as humans, we do that all the time. We are
mhm.
human.
Yeah. And even another way to like love the ego. If you didn't have an ego, if you didn't have this personality to filter your life through, you wouldn't be physically focused as a human. So
Right.
instead of resisting the ego and being like, it's a bad thing, why don't you go, wow, look at this awesome ego.
Yeah.
Wow, that God chose to put it through this flavor, this frequency, this magnificence, just this one? Are you kidding me? And then we stop hating on the ego and we go, thank you, ego. And like, not in a conceited way, but in a full self love, visibility, letting everybody see you way. Because when you truly love yourself, you remember who you are and you allow yourself to be fully seen. That's such a high expression of self love.
I love that. That's
Yeah.
awesome. Well, I can't. This conversation was incredibly interesting. Who would have guessed that autoimmune got to here?
Um,
But this is why when I received this diagnosis, it was just like, and it wasn't like a full diagnosis either. It was like, well, you're kind of on the verge here, so let's realign
mhm.
everything. And but that's because my inner world changed, that it allowed everything to line up, like the doctor's appointment. I mean, I went to a doctor for a rash and ended up seeing a functional medicine doctor, like that that doesn't happen, right? Unless it's spiritually aligned and you shifted that part of yourself that allowed for the changes to happen. And just like you, like healing the autoimmune, and without even realizing it, like that's so cool. I
Is your
Yeah,
autoimmune gone now?
not yet.
That's okay.
But I think it's only been a few weeks since I started on the healing, the physical body healing protocol. I think I'm just kind of waiting for my next follow-up appointment to see how it goes. I do feel better. I do feel better.
Mm.
But I feel like there's maybe a lingering thing or two that I'm just waiting. I'm shifting.
Yeah. Because if you're waiting, you're always going to be waiting. So
Yes.
that frequency, it's its own frequency.
Yeah.
We,
Yeah. I feel like it's just shifting. I'm
mm,
allowing the physical time. that it takes.
Mhm.
You know,
Yeah.
like it does lag behind.
Yeah.
Just
And
does.
can I ask you a couple questions?
Okay.
In this process of the physical human catching up with the soul self that remembers it's already whole, what are your biggest takeaways that it's allowing you to share with others and be of service?
Ask me that one more time. Sorry.
As your human
As I'm
catches up
healing.
as you're
Mhm.
healing, your human's catching up with your soul who's already whole. What
Mhm.
are the biggest takeaways, or even just one big takeaway, that it's allowing you to be of service to others in this process?
You know, I have known my whole life that I have a purpose and it's to help heal others, but I had to have all of these experiences in order to help people in a different way. I needed to help from experience,
Mhm.
not saving the day. Like I
Mhm.
kind of had that saving, like I had to save everybody. Like I used to have that. I used
Mhm.
to think like a long time ago, like it was my job as one human to save everybody I know. And I mean, saying it out loud sounds absolutely ridiculous. But that was my mind at
Yeah.
that time because I did have that sole purpose, but that sole purpose went through all of those distortions that I had and all of those human things that I had to work through in order to get to that point. And I mean, the way that I am even here is just so different. Like, I have like 6 different biological step families, like, and all of these things, and then all these people that I didn't even know. And then turns out I'm related to and like closely related to. And it's just, it's such a weird and convoluted story. And you're just like, okay, I was meant to just share. And a couple years ago, I mean, I know I've say you guys, I say this on this podcast all the time. Oh, my TEDx talk, but
Yeah.
it was somebody. It was the organizer of the TEDx that he saw me for me, you know. And so when you get to that point where someone sees you for you and the real you, it becomes easier to get back on that path of, okay, yes, this is me, this is where I'm going. So shout out to Jeremy Jeremy and Kyle and all of you guys and Frank. You guys are all inspiring. Like, you're living that life in that way, and it kind of, it pulled me. I know this is not the question that you asked specifically, but it pulled me back up. And if I could learn through that experience, I can help others with through learn through that experience. And one of the things that Jeremy told me, he's like, Tara, when you speak to people, like, you talk to them on kind of a soul level. I don't think he said soul level, but he's like, you're really good at that part of it. You know, just let's have a conversation. And then, like, the craziest, deepest, wildest things end up coming out of a simple conversation. Like, you and I are complete strangers, and this is like a mind-blowing, wild conversation. It's just like, okay, yeah, all right, this is what I'm meant to do. I surrender. It was on my heart, and now I get to do it in a way that's freeing to me. And it's whatever. I finally realized that it gets to be whatever I want it to look like. And like today, like, the resistance of the mind sometimes happen. Like, I forgot that this conversation was today. And I had this headache all day. And I was like, oh, I really don't want to do this. And I was like, no, I'm going to, no matter what, this is what I want. So I want to keep going because these conversations and these connections are what's going to heal everybody. And if you choose, you
They
know,
shift realities.
yeah. And I'm just here to plant seeds in people's minds. Like, where you do you and you do whatever you want to do, I'm
Yeah.
good with that. I want to plant the seeds of my experience so that I can help others.
Yeah. It's an invitation. Would you like to live a life beyond your wildest imagination when you feel free and whole and good? It's available to you.
Yes.
And can I ask you one more question that I think will be very important?
Okay. Yes.
Okay. Do you believe, or do you know, or do you remember that you actually get to be of just as much, if not more, service to others when you are fully free of these diseases that got you to this point?
Yeah, I do believe that. I do. And, even with our daughter, you can go back in the episodes, but our daughter had a traumatic brain injury last
Mm.
year. And, the doctor misdiagnosed her. And he's like, she couldn't even walk to the bathroom at 11 years old. And he's like, oh, this is her new normal. And you're just, you're,
Don't say that.
you're just like, no,
Thank you.
no, that does not happen. That
Mhm.
is not going to exist in our reality. She's
Yeah.
going to be healed no matter what. Like, I don't care what I have to do. She's going to be healed. She's not living a life like this. That's
Mhm.
not acceptable on any level. So, I mean, we spent, 5-6 months and she's 100% healed.
Ah,
Like,
oh, that's so good to hear.
mhm.
Oh, I love that. Oh, what
Yeah.
beautiful.
And then, I mean, after the 5-6 months, like it took another, 3 months to get kind of caught up because during that time she couldn't read, she couldn't write, she couldn't, she's kind of relearning how her body works and that sort of thing. But 100% healed, like no brain injury whatsoever. Yeah. So, like,
Ah, thank you, universe. More, please.
yeah. But I mean, we were divinely guided
Mhm.
100% of the way. So it was just kind of like, like internally,
Yeah.
And when she diagnosed me with the autoimmune, it was just like, oh, okay. I had chronic stress for the last 6 years.
Makes
That
sense.
makes sense. Yes. And it was just like, okay, I'm just going to do this and I'm going to be fine.
Yeah.
And there wasn't like, yeah, I never had that, like, I never had that panic moment where like, oh my God, I'm stuck with this forever. And like, I
Mhm.
didn't have fear about it. Does that make sense? Like,
Yeah.
there wasn't any fear around it. It was just like, oh, okay, I had chronic stress. So I just need to take some time, heal my body, and I'm going to be completely fine. Like,
Yeah.
there's no ifs, ands, or but about it. So, I mean, if you have an autoimmune disorder and you are listening to this, think about it.
Yeah.
Think about where it's coming from, because autoimmune, you are attacking yourself.
Yeah.
Why are you attacking yourself?
Yeah.
What's going on in you?
Mhm.
So, and she just talked a lot about how, I needed to heal my gut because of the brain gut connection and that sort of thing, which I knew. And during this time of chronic stress, like I would drink alcohol, like I would. And
Mhm.
I'm going to be completely honest. I love drinking. I love it. I love having a glass of wine on Friday evening and whatever. Like, I enjoy it. I
Mhm.
really do. But I definitely was drinking too much. Like on Friday, I would have 3 glasses of wine
Mhm.
instead of, just one, or, stuff like that. Like, it was never like a problem, but I mean, everything is okay in moderation. I feel like
Yeah.
you're here to enjoy life. Like, I was just overdoing it,
Yeah.
once a week, like, and that's not okay. And my body is sensitive. Like, when you vibrate on a different level, like, I feel like your body is a lot more sensitive to the toxins that you put in it. So
Mhm.
that's all it was. And my body's just like, hey, really, you need to stop. I know you like it, but you need to stop.
And our
And
bodies
that's
can.
okay. And I haven't drank now in quite a while, so it's fine.
Oh, congratulations to
Yeah.
you. That's huge. Like,
Yeah.
Ah,
But it was so
and
easy. It was just like, oh, hey, my body's not liking this. Let's just not do
yeah,
it.
yeah.
Okay.
I hear
Easy.
you. I've been sober for 2.5 years now, and my body gave me a same signal. It was like, we can't do this right now. Like
Yeah.
it just doesn't resonate. Like every time I would shift back to having drinks, I was like, nope, can't do that.
Yeah.
I
Yeah. It just doesn't feel right.
yeah. And it's not to say that maybe I won't ever drink again. Like maybe
Oh
I'll
my
want
gosh,
to
an eagle just flew over.
have
Oh, you can't see it.
so cool. I love synchronicities. Yeah, every choice doesn't have to be permanent. Like you again, you get to change your mind.
Yeah.
You're to, but also just recognize the season you're in. Recognize the impermanence of life and that change is really what we thrive with. And you said before, like, we don't want to just be surviving. That's not the vibe anymore. We are in a new, if you're listening
Right.
to the podcast, you're in a new layer of reality where we're done with just surviving. We are now in thriving. And this gets to be this good. It gets to be simple. It gets to be easy. It actually doesn't have to take that long. It can, if it's fun for you to take a really long time to heal stuff, go ahead. Nobody's stopping you. But you can also just recognize that it gets to be fun and playful, and the things that are manifested in your life are here for a reason. In Ayurveda, the sister science to yoga, manifestation is the last stage of dis-ease, not the first. In the Western
Oh, sure.
medicine, they go, oh, you have a disease. This is the first thing. Now let's do all these things. No, it's the last stage when it has accumulated so much that now it's present in a real sense. And so, if we can actually pay attention before it manifests in a physical body, then we'll be apt to let it ease out far more easily. And so, if you've already manifested a disease, congratulations, you're a powerful manifester. Now, you want
Yeah.
to manifest it out? Do you want to have a different experience? Because you can. It's so possible. Like our stories today are just two people, three people's stories. Magic and miracles is the new norm, friends. Like, let's start bringing that into reality. Speak it into your own existence. I am whole. I am healed. I am well. That I am statement is so powerful.
Yes. It is. Things get to be good. We don't have to stay where we are. And so often too, we get stuck in the change part. We have that fear of the change. And that fear of the change, like, can even be holding on to that identity of having a disease or having an autoimmune disease or something like that. And we hang on to that identity without even realizing it,
Yeah.
you know? Like, it's just something you went through.
And it probably
That's
gave
it.
you a lot of good things. Like
Yeah.
so many people that I've worked with, like and I'll say this out loud so that other people might have an aha moment. Like it gives you permission, if you have an autoimmune disease, to rest. It gives
Sure.
you permission to stop doing the things that have been toxic or not fun, or things that like you wanted to say no to but you couldn't before. It gives you that permission because now like you can't do it. It gives you the ability to be taken care of by others. But what if you could actually say no to the things that you want to say no to? You could be taken care of by others. You could have rest without actually having to have the disease. That option is also available. But the disease brought you the ability to know that those options are possible for you. So now you can thank the disease and let it go and say, cool,
Right.
I know how this frequency feels. Yes, people take care of me. Yes, people do stuff for me. Yes, I don't want to go to that thing. I'm going to just say no. Actually, that's not my job. I'm not doing it. Like you
Right.
can do that without the disease.
Right. That's awesome. That's such good advice. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so wild. I hope everybody enjoys this conversation and can take something away from it. Autoimmune disease and most of the diseases that we have in this life stem from something else. And I hope that you can look at it and decide something different for yourself. Change is the only constant in this life. And I hope that everybody who listens and everybody out there just keeps changing, keeps going with it. Do you have any final words, Lizzie?
I want to drop you with a nugget of love.
Okay.
This life is not meant to be a solo journey, an SOLO journey. It is meant to be a soul, oh, there you are journey, as you recollect and you remember the other aspects of your soul family here to walk you and guide you and show you the way. You don't have to do it alone. Help is available to you. People would love to support you. Let this podcast be supporting to you. Let those people in your life and you and me, let us be that support, because this brings us joy and delight. So thank you for having me, and thank you for letting me share.
Thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed this podcast, and take a look at the link below for how you can work with Lizzie and what she has available. Thank you again. Have a great day, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening to today's episode. And remember, you are never just an anything.